to fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. So here we are, France backing down, well, sort of, at best delaying carbon dioxide taxes while France burns. They are well aware that this is unpopular with the majority of French citizens. Now, zoom out of Europe and zoom into North America, in particular Canada, and you will see the exact reverse. I want you to listen to this clip in a minute. It's from City News. It has the Premier of Ontario, that's Doug Ford, who is responsible for Ontario, and he says what he's going to do to meet the Trudeau tax on Canadian citizens in Ontario. But for 57 genders, or is it 58 now? I've lost track, there's so many of them. The little French dictator thinks he can dictate to Ontario what they will and will not do. See you at the ballot box, Mr. Trudeau. Canadians don't want the Trudeau tax, and they're not going to have it. If Quebec wants it, good luck to them. And he's going to find that quite apparent in 2019, I have no doubt. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, who supports climate change, quite a disappointment to me and many others like me I had, tries to work with Trudeau. But Trudeau is just like the Democrats in the US. It doesn't matter what you agree to, it's never enough. I hope that the Canadians are smart enough to realise that they have elected into office a so-called Democrat, who is in fact a democratic dictator, who has morphed into a full-blown one. His aim is nothing less than to fundamentally transform Canada by means of mass immigration, guided by laws put in place to quash any criticism. Sound familiar? We have only one chance to fight back. That is the next general election, which happens to be in 2019. So he is moving at breakneck speed, because after this election, it will be too late. They didn't expect to lose in Ontario, so their plans have been delayed, not foiled. Don't be fooled. There's a lot more damage that Liberal communists can do and will do to Canada before the next general election, just like Obama did in the United States, who put political bombs all over the place. And with the Liberals' delay, you can expect more bombs to go off. Politically, of course. But we can fight back, and we must fight back. My feeling is that each province should take the Liberal Communist government to court, not as one group, as individual provinces. This will delay. Isn't it time we took a page out of the Liberal Communist playbook? Here's the clip.
The First Minister's meeting here in Montreal is over, but now the battle over cap and trade, or carbon tax, as Doug Ford calls it, the battle between the Prime Minister and the Premier is about to get even more heated. Ford claims the goalposts have been changed, that the Prime Minister told them that even if Ontario hit the 30% reduction in emission targets that it's promising, it won't be enough. Ontario will have to do more.
We have a great environmental plan. My minister, Rod Phillips, which is a great minister, came up with a plan that we're going to hit the 30% to the Paris Agreement without a carbon tax. So the goal is to hit the 30%. We all agree on that. I'm all for it. But all of a sudden, we had a little surprise in the room. The goalpost got changed. The goalpost got changed when I said, it doesn't matter how we get there as long as we hit 30%. What I was told by the Prime Minister is, well, no, that's not the case now. After everyone signed on to 30%, some will carry more water than other provinces. That sets uncertainty within our economy.
In the Paris Agreement, Canada agreed to reduce carbon emissions by 30% from 2005 targets by 2030. Ford scrapped the previous provincial Liberal government's cap and trade after he was elected and announced a new climate plan last week that promises to meet the 30% target. However, the feds are saying Kathleen Wynne's government had set a 40% reduction target and Ontario can't go backwards. They add Trudeau was counting on Ontario to hit a 40% reduction to help the country meet the national target.
On the issue of climate change, I think it's clear that Premier Ford and I differ on the matter. I believe that we need to put a price on pollution and help Canadians through this change and build a better future with both good jobs and a protected environment for future generations. Premier Ford put forward a plan that represents a step backwards. He exited the cap and trade agreement that he was in with Quebec and California, and he thinks we should make pollution free again. That is not something that I agree on. We have approached that recognize that Canada's targets are national targets. And even though the Premier may want to play games with numbers, what is clear is we are going to move forward, as we always have, in a very consistent way. And if anyone is moving the goalposts, it's Premier Ford.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab and email. You can now find us on Spotify. Just go to the podcast section and type Canadian Politics with a Twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.